Hello and welcome to Spread Book Joy. Today I'm going to talk to you about A Secret of Birds and Bone by the amazing Kiran Millwood Hargrave. If you're new to the channel, I'm Jack, a qualified primary school teacher who's hoping to spread the joy of books and reading as far and wide as possible. I give great recommendations for home and school reading, and you can check out all of my playlists on my channel. Today I want to talk to you about a middle grade book called A Secret of Birds and Bone, and it's by an excellent author, Kiran Millwood Hargrave, who is one of the most stunning middle grade writers and now has written a book for adults which I absolutely loved, The Mercies, which I really should do a video about. But yes, she's absolutely wonderful. If you might have heard of some of her work before, she wrote A Girl of Ink and Stars, which was the Waterstones Children's Book of the Year a couple of years ago. Always have these wonderful covers. Look at this one, it's like covered in embossing, and yeah, it's stunning. So the premise of the book, it's set in Siena in Italy. The main character is a girl called Sofia, and Sofia's mum is a bone builder, so she works with bones and makes things out of bone. And when we first meet Sofia, the opening lines are just fantastic. Let me just read them to you. In the grounds of a ruined monastery on the outskirts of Siena, a girl awoke in a charnel house. All about her were skeletons. By the thin shafts of light flitting in from the slits in the ribcage shutters, she could see the bed about her, built from tibias and fibulas. A moon-white skull, still warm from last night's fire, was cupped over her feet, for here the nights were clear and cool. Over her head draped a canopy of gold-dipped toe bones in great gilded wreaths, and teeth were set like stars in the chinks in the walls. But the girl was not afraid. So she wakes up in a bed of bone. I mean, Kiran Millwood Hargrave's prose is just absolutely beautiful. Her descriptions are beautiful. Her setting is wonderful. So she's the daughter of a bone builder who makes things out of bone. She's a really skilled craftsperson, and what I love about it is that Sofia is also a very skilled craftsperson and engineer. So she lives with her mother and her younger brother Ermin on the outskirts, and they've got a crow called Corvith who lives with them as well, that they've raised from a chick. And Siena is actually going through a plague at that time, or is it an epidemic? I think it's an epidemic, and I can't remember. I think it's smallpox. So the reason that Ermin has had smallpox and survived it, which is massively unusual for the time, and Sofia thinks it's because the way of her mum's got special powers and she managed to nurse him back to health. But they live on the outskirts of Siena, up on a hill, and they've got a well with very clear and sweet water, and there seems to be a problem with the water in Siena, which actually becomes part of the plot. So on her 12th birthday, she wakes up and her mother gives her a present. She gives her a necklace in the shape of the tower from Siena, and it's made out of bone, and it's very cleverly crafted. And she goes off to do something in the town, and she says to Sofia, well, when I come back I've got a secret to tell you. And her mother doesn't come back. So the adventure is all about what happened to the bone builder and Sofia and Ermin trying to find out. And this edition from Chicken House Books, I love this publisher. They really go all out with their books. I think children's books are just so beautiful these days. Really pay attention to the way they're produced and the illustrations. Every single page of this book has illustrations on it, which I absolutely adore. And if you look under the cover, you'll find some hidden treasure under the cover, which I always appreciate. I always love finding hidden things under dust jackets, but the dust jacket itself is absolutely beautiful. Book's really well written. It's nicely fast paced. There's sort of cliffhangerish endings at the end of all of it, and you really want to find out the secret of what's happened to her mother and what she was trying to tell her before she goes off. There are some really evil characters in it. The setting is absolutely wonderful, and it's just a really enjoyable book. I loved it, and I think most adults would actually love it. She's a fantastic writer, and yeah, can't recommend it highly enough, as usual. A book I'm raving about. So for children, it's middle grade, so ages 8 or 9 up, depending on the age of the child and their sort of maturity levels and reading age, but 9 plus is really what I would go for. And yeah, I think it would make a great book for school, actually, for guided reading, for a scheme of work for English, because the prose is just so beautiful. The writing is excellent to study. I've also got a few quick quote questions. I create these on Instagram based on this quote, where I've asked some questions about it. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link in the description box below. It's something you can have up, put the quote up on a board in a classroom or talk to your child about, and there are some questions there to ask that go with it. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe, and please do make a comment. Every little bit helps. And hopefully, if you enjoyed this, I'll see you again here soon. Bye.